Okay, they're all up. Which one up? First feet called up. Yep. La Yashal. Aymadim, which means to stand, or Panya Hakwadam means to rise and face the east. Gonna do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamai, Dash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Daba'a, Ratazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Rataza, Ba'aratawa, Ayah, Bashamai, the Thundernaut, Cow, Yawam, Salaklanau, Kasalak, Wala'a, Kabaya'an, Bonasai one, a ball, I was shy now, Mayan, right, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wahatapara, I will love you, Aman, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven, give us this day, our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahushua. Babu Kwashat. Thundernaut. Hakak. Larapa'ah. Kal Makalat. Wakal Matawak. Hakak. Latahar. Hamatazariah. Hakak. Lahakuya. Matthew. Hakak. Aurakawa. Atama'ala. Lagarashat. Ba'ashim Yahushua. The water of month. Yahweh. In the name name of Yahushua. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. Please give us the power. The power to heal. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. Thank you. So be it. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a, Ayanya, Al-Hahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'ai, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemaiah, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Na'a, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yadashun, Shawamar, Yasha'al, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazal, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamorka, Bakaurai, Yashamor, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamor, Taza'aka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'ita, Wa'ai, Awalam, Aman. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? From which cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee, will not slumber. Will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. From all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out, and thy coming in. And thy coming in. From this time forth. From this time forth, and even forevermore. And even forevermore. So be it. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahaya, Al-Damaya Laka, Al-Taharach, Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Awayabdika, Yahamayawan, Ra'ash. Kayahana, Awayabdika, Yahamayawan, Wamashanayaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Aimaka, Ya'irayamba, so why? Wayataya Aitazawa, Altazapawanyaka, Amorwa, Lakawa, Wanahakidam, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakor, Sham Yasha'al, Kaya, Noah Aitazawa, Lab, Yahadwa, Aldika, Baryak, Yakarafwa, Ahalya, Adawa, Wayashama Aliyah, Mawa Abba, Wahagoya, Gabal, Wa'aimalak, Halashat, I'm Yashab, Hazawar, Gama Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawa, Nabanya Salah, Aishalaham, Hamadya, Kasayasara'a, Kayabyan, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Damad, La'adama, Shayathumwa, Nadayamawa, Ka'ira, because of Ba, like it was Zalmanah, Howl, Nasayakamwa, Ashore, Amor, Nayarashat, Lanawa, Na'awa, Alahaya, Shayathumwa, Kagaugala, Kwak, Lapanyaraka, Ka'ash, the Ba'ira Ya'ira, Kalahat, Haryam, Khan, Tharadapma, Basa Wabasawa Paka, Mala'a, Panyaham, like Panyaham, Qualawa, Wayabakwash, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahalwa, Ayah, Wayakapar, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Shamka, Yahweh, Abadka, Al, you one, Al, Aman. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. Hold not thy peace. And be not still, O Yahweh. And be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee. Have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. Against thy people. And consulted. Against thy hidden ones. They have said. Come and let us cut them off. From being a nation. That the name of Israel. May be no more remembered. For they have consulted together. With one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarene. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kissar. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Zahan. Yea. All their princes. As Zabah. And as Zalmunna. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh my power. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. As the flame sets the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy temper. And make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. Oh Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou, whose name alone is Yahweh. Art the most high. Over all the earth. So be it. We're going to get the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayaka'ala. Wa Alahayim. Matazab Ya'ah. Alawak Yahana. Ha Alawakyim. Ha Saranyim. Ha Kwatazayanyim. Ha Chayayoyim. Wa Adwakyim. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. The water Aman. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahweh Shah. And Michael. And the angel. Commanding General Yahweh. The general. The captain. The officer. The troopers. And the sister. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you. So be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew, Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Barak Lanawa. Wa Yasha'ala. Wahab Bayasaparyim. Barak. Rapah. Magun. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. The water Aman. He said, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless us in Israel in the school. Bless He'll shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. So, means to turn, Shavim, which means be seated. Be live. Right. Let's get it on Sabbath service, the Lord's Sabbath service. You understand? You tune in live. Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, the Lord's Sabbath service. Understand, all blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, God's chosen people, our culture, our heritage contained and written in the Bible. All right, Joshua. Oh God, Joshua chapter 11. Who we at? 11 and what? Verse 14. Okay. We'll start at verse 15. 15. And you put 12. Joshua chapter 11, verse 15. Ka'ashar, Tazawa'a, Yahweh, Mashah, Ibadwa, Come, Tazawa, Mashah, Hawa, Hawashai, Wakan, 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 Aisha, Yahawashai, Joshua, La'ah, Hasayor, Debar, Makal, Ashar, Tazawa, Yahweh, Mashah. Verse 16. Wayakwak, Yahawashai, Kal, Ha'aratazah, Haza'ah, Hahar, the mountain, okay, Hahar, Wa'af, Kal, Hanagab, Wa'af, Kal, Aratazah, Hagashan, Wa'af, Hashapal, Hashapalha, Wa'af, Ha'ai Rabah, Wa'af, Har, Yasha'ala, Wishapalak, Wishapalatha, verse 17. Mun, Hahar, Hachalak, Hawa'ah, Ha'aiwala, Wa'ayor, Wa'ai, Ba'al, God, Baba Kwa'ai, one. Alabun one. Thachaf, Har, Karam, one. Harawamam, I like it. Wa'af, Kal, Malakayahum, Lakad, Wayakam, Wayamayasam, verse 18. Yamayam, Rabbayam, Aisha, Yahawashai, Kal, Hamalakam, Ha'alha, Malachama, verse 19. La'ah, Hayatha, Ayor, Ashar, Hashalama, Al, Banya, Yasha'ala, Balafya, Hakawa, Yeshabya, Gabaiwan, Gabaiwan, Hakal, Lakwakwa, Bamalachama, verse 20. Kaya, Ma'af, Yahweh, Hayatha, Lachazak, Af, Labam, okay, Lama, okay, Laquara, Hamalakama,
Yasha'ala, Lama'ain, Lama'ain, okay. Lama'ain, Hachara, Hachara Yama, Labalafya, Hayawas, Laham, Laham, Sakana, Kaya, Lama'ain, Lama'ain, Ha, and then Shema Yadam. Ha Shema Yadam. Ka'ash, Ka'ashar, Tazawa, Yahweh, Ah, Masha. 21, what we started, 14? That's the last one. 21. Wayaba, Yahweh Shah, Ba'if, Hahaya, Hahaya, Waya Haraf, Ah, Ha'ain, Ha'ain Yakyam, Man, Hahar, Man, Kabar one, Man, Dabar, Man, Ainab, Wamakal, Har, Yahawada, Wamakal, Har, Yasha'ala, Ain, Ariyaham, Hakar, Hakarya Mum, Hakarya Mum, Yahweh Shah. Okay, that's 20.
We got it goes over to 23 if you want to finish it out.
Okay, yeah, that's 23. All right. Verse 22. La'ah, Noah, like it, Noah Thar, Inakyam, Ba'aratazah, Banya, Yasha'ala, Rak, Ba'izah, Bagaf, Waba Ashadwa, Nasha'ar, like it, Nasha'arwa, verse 23. Wayakwach, Yahawashai, Kal, Ha'aratazah, Kakal, Ashar, Debar, Yahweh, Al, Mashar, Wayathana, like it, Wayathana, Yahawashai, Lanakal, Lanakal, La Yasha'ala, boy, Kamak, Kamak, Lak, Kamak, Lakha, Lakatham, Kamak, Lakatham, the Shabbat Yaham, Waharatazah, Shakwat, like Shakwata, Mamalakama. Okay. Yeah, there you go. 23. All right. So we have now in the English, Joshua chapter 11, verse 14, all the way down to 23. Joshua chapter 11, verse 14. And all the spoil of these cities and the cattle the children of Israel took for a prey unto themselves. But every man they smote with the edge of the sword until they had destroyed them. Neither left they any to breathe. Verse 15. As the Lord commanded Moses, his servant, so did Moses command Joshua, and so did Joshua. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord commanded Moses.
Right.
Verse 16. So Joshua took all that land, the hills, and all the south country, and all the land of Goshen, and the valley, and the plain, and the mountain of Israel, and the valley of the same. Verse 17. Even from the Mount Halak that goeth up to Seir, even unto Baal-gad, in the valley of Lebanon, under the Mount Haman, and all their kings he took, and smote them, and slew them. Verse 18. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings.
All those kings, all the nations that Joshua made war with them. This is a very foreign concept, unlike what we have been taught in the Christian church. Moses was a man after the Lord's own heart. Moses is referenced so many times, innumerable amount of times in the scriptures, just like King David is. The only reason that these wars and things are necessary in the scriptures, they're necessary. We are currently under the foot of every nation on the earth because there are no men of war, men of the Lord, that is leading a charge to free our people from these nations. When you in the Christian church and you growing up in Christianity, in your mind, the preachers are teaching you things that are separate from the Old Testament. But the reasons why we did not have our communities and cities that were filled with Chinese, Arab, East Indian, African gods and businesses where they control your rent, your food supply, your education system, where you can and can't work, where you can and can't afford to live, how much you're being paid. These wars in the Bible are so that we do not end up in the position that we are in now as a nation. That's right. No people is just going to let the slaves that they can exploit and feed on the best. No people will let you free. You think you're going to leave America and go to Africa. You're going to get into Africa and find out that the Africans were the ones that sold you in the first place. You understand? You're going to end up in Islam and find out that Islam was the religion of the first people that sold you into slavery. That Africa is not your home. Those are not your people. That America is not built for you. They're not your people. Our oppressor is not your people. That the Asians are not your people. The East Indians are exploiting and oppressing our people all throughout the West Indies, all throughout Trinidad and Jamaica, right along with the Chinese, all throughout Central and South America, buying up all your shops, land, and businesses with money that they get off of the tribe of Judah and Benjamin in the ghetto here in America. All nations prey on our people. And unless there is war to free us, the same way that there was war to free Iraqi freedom from Saddam Hussein, there was war to free Afghanistan from the Taliban. There was war, you understand, against drugs and war against this and war against that. Evil only stops when there is a force to oppose it. Right. You understand? You can't hope, sing, cry, dance, pray, or vote away the evil that's oppressing you. You got to turn back to the Lord, and the Lord raises up men of war to war against the evil so that our people can get free. That's the only way it's ever been done. Except this time, our King Yahushua is going to return with 200 million of the armies that are in heaven that our oppressor calls UFOs and make war with everybody so that we'll never be under any other nation again. But you got to earn it. You get in here, you put in work, change our lives as a people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and First Nations brothers and sisters, get in this Isupk, put on back our proper culture and heritage that the Lord gave us, and get rid of all of these idols, all of these worshiping the stars and the sky spirit and the wolf and the zodiac signs and praying to a rock, Allah, and a cross in church and praying to statues and naked white babies with wings. And in everybody else's culture, we got to turn from that so that the Lord can raise deliverance up for our nation and send our king back, man. All right. So God, keep it up.
Verse 19. There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel.
No city made peace with the children of Israel. This is something that you have to understand. It's a story in the Bible. I just seen it after all these years. It's a story in the Bible that when Jacob, not Jacob, Jacob wasn't even born yet. The Lord was blessing Isaac. You understand? And he had wells. The Lord provided well water to Isaac. And the Philistines, as a matter of fact, let's get that scripture. That's a heavy scripture in Genesis. You have to understand the spirit of these other nations. The Christianity and ignorance in your mind makes you believe that all people can just come together and just love and have a rainbow coalition like your worthless black leader preachers, Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, and Al Sharpton, and T.D. Jakes are teaching you every Sunday, lying to you. God wants all people separate. This is for your safety and your protection. You understand? Let's get that. Dig wells. Wells. Like the other nations are jealous of you. They're so jealous of you that if it means wiping you out and your people, earth-filled wells. Let me get that. If it means wiping you and your people out, they'll do that. Just because. You understand? Let's get to Genesis chapter 26 and verse 15. You understand? You got to understand this story. That rather than have you thrive and be great, the heathen would rather do something that kills off everybody. You understand? As a matter of fact, start at verse 26 and verse 12.
God. Genesis chapter 26, verse 12. Then Isaac sowed in the land.
Isaac sowed. The Lord gave Isaac land. Isaac, of course, is Abraham's son. From Isaac comes Jacob. From Jacob comes the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, First Nations, brothers and sisters. You understand? Isaac is sowing in the land. That's what we did. We were farmers. We worked the fields. We worked crops, everything. Every empire, their wealth and their power came from having us in captivity down there. Just like in America, we farming, our Hispanic brothers farming all their crops and strawberries and avocados, just like we did, the tribe of Judah and Gad did in slavery, farming, picking their cotton, all their sugar cane, all of their crops and everything all throughout their empire. You understand? Isaac sold the land, but he was free. You understand? There's a reason why the Lord gave Joshua instructions to make war with these nations. They're not going to let you just be and prosper only for black people, only for Hispanics and First Nations brothers and sisters. They're not going to allow you prosper. That's why the prayer in Psalms 83, they take crafty counsel against thy hidden people so that your nation is wiped out, so that they can set up carryouts in your ghetto and get rich while you kill each other, fighting over scraps, so that they set up Arab fried chicken spots and Vietnamese and Korean nail salons. You understand? So that your businesses fail and they thrive. They set up Subway, sandwich shops. What else? What the Elamites got? Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins, so that they can thrive while you suffer and die, thinking that this is how the world is and race doesn't matter. You understand? Let's get some more on that. Keep going.
God. And received in the same year and 100-fold.
Meaning he sold in the land, and in the same year, whatever he sold, 100-fold. I don't know if y'all know anything about farming or agriculture. You understand? But if you plant some trees and some crops, they don't all come up the same year. You plant strawberries, you might not get a harvest of strawberries that year. You plant corn, you might not get a harvest of corn that first year. If you plant fruit trees or apples and pears and strawberries, they might not harvest that first year. You might have to wait a few years before you get some crops growing from those fruit trees. Well, Isaac sowed in the land, and not only did he get a harvest from all of these that he sowed, he got a harvest of 100-fold. Right. Your good harvest, you plant one potato, you might get 50 potatoes. Your good harvest, you plant, one vine for cucumbers, you might get 20, 30 cucumbers. Well, he planted one cucumber seed and got 100 cucumbers. 10 cucumber seeds got 1,000 cucumbers. One strawberry seed got 100 strawberries. He was blessed beyond everything that the heathens had ever seen. And they weren't saying, oh, we proud for them, like you proud for the Chinese man and his culture, and proud for Africans and their culture, and proud for the East Indians and their culture, and you proud for the Arabs and their culture, and our oppressor America and their culture. They're not cheering for you the way that you cheer for everybody else. Let's see what they did. Keep going.
Verse 13. And the Lord blessed him. Verse 13. And the man waxed great.
He's getting great. He ain't suffering and struggling and starving. He's living good. Everybody should be happy, right? Keep going.
And went forward. And grew until he became very great.
He growing, he getting stronger and stronger and greater in power. Keep going.
Verse 14. For he had possession of flocks.
Possession of flocks. He got sheep. He got goat. You understand? He got oxtail, curry this, jerk that. You understand? You got foot and what else? The shank.
Right.
And all of the good choice meats from the goat and the lamb. What else he got?
And possession of herds.
And herds. He got cattle. Big, thick steaks, porterhouse, hamburgers, sirloins. You understand? And the onions, potatoes, and vegetables. Everything that he needs to be great and powerful. You understand? Keep going.
And great store of servants.
Great store of services. Everybody working for him. He the head man in charge. He the boss. He the big dog. You understand? He got all the wealth, all the power, the name, the rank, the reputation. That's how the Lord wants. When you serve the Lord, that's what the Lord will give to our people. We don't serve the Lord right now as a people. That's why we on the bottom. Right. And what happened when the Lord is blessing you, Black, Hispanic, Native American man? Just like when we were in Africa. When you read from Babylon to Timbuktu, we did all kind of things. Give me that from Babylon, Bunker Shaw. Let me get that from Babylon to Timbuktu. Page 90. Keep reading, Bunker Shaw. God. Hey, shalom, Michael.
And the Philistines.
And who?
And the Philistines.
The Hamites. Who?
The Philistines.
The Africans. Who?
The Philistines.
Mabutu and Wambosi. Who?
The Philistines.
The heathen that cannot run like you, that don't make all the inventions, that don't make the refrigerator, the cell phone, the freezer, the video game, that aren't the father of medicine. The heathen that don't know how to do things and irrigate crops, that'll set up a village in the middle of nowhere with no damn water supply so that you can watch them at 3 o'clock in the morning on Feed the Children with distended bellies covered in flies because they set up a village where there is no water. Those heathens, the Philistines, look like it froze here. What's going on here? All right, no sweat.
Go ahead. The Philistines envied him.
They did what?
Envied him.
They loved him. Did what?
Envied him.
They said, we all equal. What?
Envied him.
They said, my brother, what?
Envied him.
The Philistines saw how the Most High was blessing you, and they hated you. They hated us. That's why they sold us. That's why they tore down the empires that we built. That's why the Arabs sold us, the East Indians. That's why they all work together. They are confederate against thee, like Psalms 83 says. God, Most High in Christ. This is what happens to our people. Like you cannot take for granted why these things are happening. You cannot join another nation of people. They are there to rob and exploit because they are not as great as you. The Lord is not with the Hamites and the Moabites. The Lord is not with them. They're not special. They cannot dunk a basketball over a car. Japan does not make the video games. A black man named Jerry Lawson invented video games. Apple does not make cell phones. A black man invented a cell phone. You understand? The refrigerator, Maytag and General Electric and Whirlpool, they don't make and invent refrigerators. A black man, John Standard, invented refrigerators. You understand? Black men invented these things. Your refrigerator, your freezer, your icebox, potato chips, all of that comes from our people. We no people are equal to us. The Lord made one people above all people on the face of the earth. Right. And when these heathens saw how the Lord was blessing us, when these Hamites, that you want to swear that you're an African, you in Kemet, in Ghana, and the year of return, when they saw how the Lord was blessing you, this is what they did. Read that again.
Genesis chapter 26, verse 15. For all the wells which his father's servants had dig,
all the wells that Abraham had dig, the wells to feed your crops, feed your cattle, your family, your livestock. The water supplies are very important. This is how you run a town. If there's no water, everything dies. The food dies, your vegetables die, your soil dies, the nutrients and minerals die. You got to pack up and move to go somewhere where there's water. You understand? Keep going.
In the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them.
The Philistines did what to the water supply?
Stopped them.
This is exactly what the Spaniards did from Spain when they came to the Aztec capital, which is Mexico City today. They stopped the water flow to drain off the supply of nutrients, the lifeblood of the city, of the civilization. They cut the water supply off so that the crops died and the people died. You understand? This is what heathens do. Rather than allow you to be blessed and great, they would rather get rid of the water supply so that you and your family die. That's the spirit on a heathen. You don't understand because they are ruling over the top of you with businesses while we are suffering. And you think everybody is the same because Maylene can get 10 grand a week scrubbing the crust off of your feet and your hands every week. Like, we are not the same as these other nations. Keep going.
And filled them with earth.
They did what?
Filled them with earth.
They filled the wells, filled with drinking water, washing and bathing water. They poured earth. They put so much dirt in there so that they could stop the water flow. That's why Africans have problems getting water to this very day. This is what they did to our people. So that why? What happens if you don't have water? Everybody dies. They would rather kill all this blessing that the Lord gave to Isaac than to let you shine and be great and empowered because they are heathen. This is why when we read in the book of Joshua, the Lord is giving Moses orders to tell Joshua to make war with all of the kings around them because this is what they are going to do. They're going to starve your sons and daughters to death. They're going to make sure there's a drought so that we can't eat, feed, or survive so that we all lose our lives. You understand? Pharaoh was afraid of the Hebrews growing strong, so he gave an order to kill all of our male sons. That's how Moses ended up being raised in Pharaoh's house because Pharaoh was Moses' mother, put Moses in a basket and sent him up the river because the Hamites that were mad at the Lord blessing us, they wanted us dead. Right. That's the same thing that Herod did to Christ when he was born. All of our toddlers were executed. That's why Christ had to go and live in Egypt and had to come back after a certain age because he was afraid that our people would get free and he would not be able to exploit and get rich off of us. That's why there needs to be war with these other nations. They are actively fighting war against you and your people. You on the sideline trying to march and cry and sing. The Chinese are not marching, crying, and singing. Something happened to them, they got an Asian hate bill passed just like that. You've been getting beat, murdered, tased, gunned down, lynched.
for hundreds of years. No bill passed to protect you. They still fighting on an anti-lynching bill to this very day in 2021. Like, you got to understand that. Any more than that? God, I just want to read this excerpt from Babylon to Timbuktu, page 90. One of our textbooks in the Isupk talks about the historical records of what we were doing in Africa. You understand? We were completely different, and we outclassed the Africans in every way possible. We had endless wars against them. That's why they sold us into slavery. I'm going to read this quick piece right here from Babylon to Timbuktu. All right. It says the black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them because the African tribes didn't have written records. God gave us commandments to write our records down in a book. That's how we read them to this day. The whole world has our records of the Israelites, trying to make it seem like it's something for them and their people, when it's not. It's only for our people. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization because of the stability of the black Jewish culture. Take that, brother. Our culture was so stable because of the rules and laws that the Most High gave us that we lived by. You understand? Just step aside, brother. It says the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the autochthonous population, meaning we were not absorbed into the Hamites population. Our society was so far advanced that they could not take us over. We did not fit in their society. You understand? That's what the Lord is saying. In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. Again, things the Lord said not to do. The Lord wanted us to be completely separate from these other nations. Instead of obeying the Lord, like it says in Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy 7, not to take their sons unto our daughters, not to accept their daughters into our families, you welcome the heathen in. And as you welcome the heathen in, thinking that we all the same, we all melanated people, we all from the same place, they turn around and devise a plot with their people to sell you and your family, take your land, take your empire, and for hundreds of years, them the Arabs and the East Indians and the white man all sell our people and get filthy rich to this day. That's why the Lord said to stay separate. That's why Joshua is having war with all of the kings that are around him. The Jews made use of every opportunity. This is what we did that the Hamites did not do in Africa. This is why they sold us. They were an industrious and skillful people. We made industry. We were full of skill. The Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmiths, agriculturalists, etc. We completely outclassed those heathen in every way. And they knew it in the days of Isaac. That's why they plotted to kill everybody by poisoning our water supply. That's why the Lord gave Joshua orders to have war with every king around them. Because if given the opportunity, every single heathen would do this to us. That's why it's saying this. That's why you need to come to the Sabbath service to learn the records and history of our people. All right? That's it on that. Let's get back to where we were there. All right? So what the brother said?
15 minutes from the U-Haul spot.
Okay, yeah, the U-Haul spot. All right.
Joshua chapter 11, verse 19. Verse 19. There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel.
No city making peace with us. They see how the Lord is blessing you and how inferior their people, their gods, and their society is. They want to come steal what you have. They want to come kidnap you so to make you work for us. They saw that sister Diana, who was one of Jacob's daughters. Jacob's daughter Diana. You understand? And the Hamites saw how more beautiful they were than their Hamite women. Because our sisters, black, so-called Negro, West Indian, Jamaican, Haitian, so-called Hispanic First Nation sisters, the baddest women on the planet. He looking at old rough, crusty dog, you understand, burnt foot Hamite, you understand, smelling rough, looking rough, all kind of cuts and slash face wounds all over their face like the Hamites do. And then he turned around and looked at, Rihanna and Beyonce and all the beautiful and wonderful sisters that come out of our lineage. And then he decided that he just gonna snatch up and do what the Hamites do and just rape the sister and then call it marriage. That's why Simeon and Levi rode through there with some brothers and killed 200 of them Philistines for that. You understand? But keep going.
Save the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All other they took in battle.
Everybody else fell by the sword. They slid on everybody. You understand? Joshua had an army of steppers. You understand?
Right.
Shooters, hitters, sliders. They slid on everybody.
That's right.
At the Lord's command. You want to know why black men in the street shooting and killing each other? Because they don't know how the Lord intended on them to war. They got a warrior spirit, but they got a zeal not according to knowledge. They need to get in the UPK and learn what to do with that spirit until the Lord called for the bloodhounds. You understand?
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 20. For it was of the Lord to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle.
The Lord wanted them to rise up against Israel so that everybody could know and get that reputation that they came up against the children of the Lord and they got put down. That's what the Lord wanted. That's what's going to happen to all these nations when Christ returns. The Lord's rep is going to increase by falling on these heathens. Keep going.
That he might destroy them utterly.
He might do what?
Destroy them utterly.
Love everybody. What?
Destroy them utterly.
Bring them in and have a rainbow coalition.
Destroy them utterly.
Say all lives matter.
Destroy them utterly.
You understand? The Lord wanted to utterly destroy them. Make an example out of them. This ain't the God you learning about in church. You understand?
That's right.
Keep going.
And that they might have no favor, but that he might destroy them as the Lord commanded Moses.
The Lord didn't want to show them favor and mercy, man. The Lord gave an order to wipe them out. The Lord wanted their name to be a memory. You understand? So you can remember the power of the Lord by how he sent Joshua through the fall on these heathen.
Right.
You understand? Keep going.
Verse 21. And at that time came Joshua and cut off the Anakims from the mountains.
Cut off everybody. This is how you secure your nation. You understand?
From Hebron.
From Hebron.
It's like from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the mountains of Judah.
What you don't realize and understand is the only way for your economy and things to get running and functioning properly is you're going to have to get these heathen from out of your land.
Right.
That's what you don't understand. You're not going to have successful black businesses. Your black nail salon and foot pedicure salon is not going to function as well until all the Vietnamese and Korean and Chinese foot nail places disappear out of the community. That's when all the wealth goes to you and stays with you. Your black, you understand, wing and rib spot is not going to jump off properly, or your taco stand is not going to jump off properly as long as you keep inviting the Chinese every time they want to buy your Hispanic business, or the Arabs every time they want to buy your business, or the Chinese setting up carryouts in your neighborhood. They have to get put out of the land. You understand? We're not talking about doing violence, you understand, of burning up buildings and things. But spiritually, we have to separate ourselves from helping the other nations. That's the only way that we come up. We can't learn this lesson because we think all races are supposed to be together, because that's what the Christian preacher teaches us, that no other race of people's religion or their leaders teach them that lie. Nobody is taught that. Not a bird, not a fish, not a roach, not an Asian, not an Arab, not a European. All of the different Europeans are separate. All of the different Asians are separate. The Pakistanis and the East Indians are the exact same people, and one serves a different God, and they made two separate countries because everybody understands the importance of everybody being on the same page. You understand? Keep going.
And from all the mountains of Israel, Joshua destroyed them utterly with their cities. There was, verse 22, there was none of the Anakims left.
No one. That's it.
In the land of the children of Israel. Only in Gaza and Gath and in in Ashdod there remained. Verse 23.
Pushed them to extinction. That's what the Lord wanted, man. Keep going.
So Joshua took the whole land according to all that the Lord said unto Moses. And Joshua gave it for an inheritance unto Israel.
This is something that we don't understand as a people. Your sons and daughters, your sons will never get an inheritance unless you block off the borders that allow all of the other nations to come and set up shop in your community. You can't pass down your houses, your apartment buildings. You can't pass down anything to your children if you let people who are not your family come and set up shop for their family in your community, in your city, in your land. The Lord understood this. Moses understood it. Joshua understood it. But you don't understand that because you're in that Christian church, man, where they teach us not to obey the Lord.
Right.
Go ahead, finish that up.
According to their divisions by their tribes, and the land rested from war.
The land rested from war because all the enemies were gone.
Right.
That's how you stop the war. You don't stop the violence by singing and dancing and hoping and praying. You stop the violence by wiping out the enemy. The U.S. Army understands that. America understands that. You understand? They understand very well.
That's right.
That's how it's done. They didn't come to peaceful agreement in terms with Saddam Hussein. And we not for America, but they understood that a song and a dance and hugs and kind words is not how you fix situations.
Right.
If that was the case, they wouldn't have an army, a navy, an air force, Marines, Apaches, C-130s, stealth bombers, F-18s, Raptors, Apaches, you understand? Chinooks, Abrams tanks, you understand? ICBM missiles, the Hellfire. They wouldn't have these things if all you had to do was just sing and hug and kiss and have nice words. What the hell do they need a military for? What are the police carrying guns for? If that's all you need to do is to say something nice. Right. You understand? What the hell is the baton and the gun and the nightstick and the taser for? Like, that's not realistic. We live in a fantasy world. While the other nations of people around us are living reality, we live Martin Luther King's dream and hopes and wishes and silly sayings that we learn from church. Like, give it to God and Jesus take the wheel. You understand? Like, those are not real things. You got to come and learn how to serve the Most High. Any more on that? Was that 22 or 23? 23. All right. Okay, so we'll be coming up on the time. We got 1 hour. All right, so let's go ahead and send up prayer. All right.
Our mighty, which means to stand, just us up here.
All right. You want to blow the horn or what?
Oh, come, sir.
Imagine which means to stand, Kunya Hakodam, means to rise and face the east. I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayat, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakuska, Daba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayat, Aisha, Baratazah, Hayat, Shemayim, Thundernawa, Yawah, Salaknawa, Kawawaknawa, Salaknawa, Kawawaknawa, Wala'ah, Dabiya'anawa, Nasayawa, Abor, Mayan, Rai, Laka, Malakwa, Ma'atzai, Waha'ala, Wadapara, Awalamia, Aman, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, Babu Kusha, Thundernawa, Hakak, Lavaba'ah, Kamakala, Bakal Marawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamad Zariah, Hakak, La Hakuya, Hamakya, Hakak, Al Rakhawa, Hatama Allah, the Gavarshun, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, the water of month. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power, power to heal, all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease, power to cleanse the lepers, power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahweh, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ohohoya, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Izoria, Ma'ay, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawah, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawah, Wala'ah, Yashun, Shawamor, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Al Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashemak, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamor, Makal Rai, Yashamor, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamor, Taza'aka, Wabawa'aka, Mayata, Wa'ai, Awalam, Aman. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Alahaya, Al Damayalaka, Al Dakharash, Al Dashakwat, Al Kayahana, Awayadika, Yahamayawad, Wamashanayaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'at, Al Aimaka, Ya'arayamwa, Sabah, Wayata Ya'ai Tazawa, Al Tazapuanyaka, Slakia. Amorwa, Lakawa, Walakakida, Magoya, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Aiwai, Kaya, Nawa'ai Tazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Aldaka, Baryak, Yakarafwa, Ahoya, Alawa, Wayashama Ilaya, Mawa'aba, Wahagoya, Gabor, Wa'aimalak, I'm Yashabya, the war, Gama Ashawar, Nalawa, Aiman, Hayawa, Zarawah, the Banyalawa, Salah, Aishalahab, Kamadye, Kasayasara'ah, Kayabya, Banakal,
Yashua, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Narayabawa, Ka'ira, because the Abba, because the Ba, because the Zalmanai, Kal, Nasiya Kamwa, Ashor, Amarwa, Nayabasha, Lanawa, Na'awa, amongst like Alahaya, Shagatamwa, Galgala, Kakwash, the Panyaraka, Ka'ash, the Ba'ayriya, Kalahaba, Haryam, Khan, Tavadatma, Basa Ivaka, Baba Sawapaka, Sabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Malawa, Waya Bakwashwa, Shemka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya Bahalwa, Ayai, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Da'aiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shemka, Yahawa, Al Yawan, Al, Kal, Raktazah, Aman. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. And hold not thy peace. And hold not thy peace. And be not still, O Yahweh. And be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Thine enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Against thy people. And consulted. Against thy hidden ones. Against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off. And let us cut them off. From being a nation. That the name of Israel. That the name of Israel. May you no more remember. May you no more remember. For they have consulted together. For they consulted together. One consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. And the Hagarenes. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. The Baal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabez. The brook of Kison. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Zaeb. Yea. All their princes. As the Ba. And as Zamuna. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh. In possession. Oh my power. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. And the fire burneth for wood. As the flame set up the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy temple. And make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Yahweh. Let them be confounded. In trouble forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou. Whose name alone. Is Yahweh. Art the most high. Over all the earth. All right. So be it. So means the term. Right. You go where you get it. Oh God. Sit. Oh God. With that, we'll give a welcome salute. Men of Israel. Mam Shabbat. Amadim. Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatham. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatham. Saw. Yanimata. Salaki. With that, class dismissed.